Good evening. Welcome to Options Center. It is Wednesday, late evening. Thank you for joining. I want to get a quick video out here because we haven't done one, but I will let you know that next week we will be back full time. I will be back full time to join you each and every day, putting out videos. The Patreon's going to be wild, lots of things happening, and this is going to be quite a ride, I think. So here we go. Before we jump into this, go down to that bottom right hand corner, hit that Options Center logo, and subscribe. Don't forget to like the videos. It really helps the algorithms go. You know, all the YouTube stuff that happens here. So, okay, we're going to go through the monthly time frame, the weekly, real quick. We're in a downtrend. We're rejecting. We closed above on the monthly, above that 8 EMA. That's a trending indicator to the downside, and we're back below it. We're in a downtrend. Let's move on to the weekly. All right, on that weekly time frame, we had a bearish rising wedge, came down, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. We have a triangulation happening here. That means we have a channel, a rising channel, and then we have a downtrend line here. We rejected off the downtrend line. We're testing that 8 EMA. You remember this if you watch my previous videos. This line is so important over and over and over again. And what this is ended up being is the bow and arrow. If I extend this out, what this is going to, in the future, this is going to be the bow and arrow support / resistance, where this is going to be a significant area here that we keep testing back and forth. So we're coming back to the area, and we're seemingly going to want to bounce maybe a little bit before breaking back down to test the lower portion of this triangulation, which would be the lower end of this mid. There's actually a lower channel here, but this is the mid channel, coinciding with the 200-week moving average. So we're heading back down. We had our bear market rally, reversing. Let's move on to the daily. Spend a little bit more time on the daily time frame. And on the daily, we had this channel moving up right to resistance. Broke down from the 200-day moving average. We're below the 8 EMA, the 20 simple moving average, the 100. And the next possible area, if you, we're going to extend this support here out a little bit, and that should help with some of the trading. And that's where we're bouncing off of right now. And so I do suspect that we'll retest this 8 EMA area. Let's dive in a little closer. This 8 EMA area to the 20-day moving average. It's just around that 4,000, which is, you know, the psychological area that we keep testing and moving above and below. So I suppose we'll go back to that area right there. We're looking for, and we'll check it out in a lower time frame. But we had our bearish crossover on the MACD. We lost our trend line here on the RSI. All bearish moves to continue the trend. And some say, hey, well, you know, maybe we're making a lower high to move higher. And, you know, the situation is we're in a downtrend in the intermediate term. And so therefore, we're going to play it to the downside here overall. That's where probability plays in trading. So we're going to go down to the 65-minute. See if we can learn a little bit of something else here. On a 65-minute chart, we had this rising wedge, broke down from the supply area that I had marked in the red shade, also the downtrend line. And now we actually broke the uptrend from the wedge, which is very bearish, and I suspect we'll retest the bottom of this. We do have this this demand area in the green, so we'll be looking at that intensely. and then we have this whole, probe area that we will be testing the lows that we think. So breaking down from there, what's happening? I do suspect that we have a 5-wave move down as an expanded, I guess you can call it a wedge or whatnot, but we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move down. All the waves are expanding. A short 1, bigger 3, and a much larger 5. And with that completed, this is probably forming an A, B, and then a C. Now, the thing is where is this C going to actually test? Are we going to test its downtrend line here? Or are we going to get all the way to the 4,000 area? And if you do Fibonacci retracements from the high to the low, we should retest about that 50% retracement all the way to 62%. And that brings us to around the 4,000 area and then 4,035. So right in that area there, if we do decide to test that, I think we'll have our wave 2 in. I'm not convinced that we'll actually make it all the way up. We have our options expected move. So if we, from the bottom here to our options expected move is around that 4,010, and also coinciding with that downtrend line, that's where I'm seeing some confluence to where we would take our short, for to re-enter the swing low. We were in this short already. We did take off some positions, but we're going to put on some more after a little bit more of a bounce here that we think. We do have to get over to that 39.40 area to confirm this bounce is going to go higher. But we're looking at this 4,000 area, and if we just kind of probe above it, maybe we'll get to that back test of the downtrend line. It did not do that last time, so it's not guaranteed that we'll actually back test the uptrend line in particular, but it's still considered a back test even if we only make it to that 4,000 area or even below that. It's a little bit more rare situation where we get a real shallow reversal, but we'll keep it in mind. We're looking at this reversal area here. Okay. From there, that's the question. What's going to happen next? So if we take our Fibonacci extension and place it from the top of what we're considering wave 1 to the bottom of wave 1, and if we're just assuming that we get to 4,000 area, then we're looking at the 168 extension down to 3,700, just around there. So we have a lot of options, open interest there at the 3,700 area. So that's kind of why we're looking at that as being the target for this next move. As soon as we get a little bit of a bounce here, we do have the point of control. It's going to slow us down a bit, but I don't think that's going to stop us. I think this 3,700 area is really where the action's going to be at. Now, if you're looking at the MACD, we already had this downtrend line. We broke above it with positive divergence, and same thing with the RSI. So that's why I'm thinking we're in our corrective bounce at this point in the short term. Okay, so I'll put those away. If we go to the SPX, go to that trade tab, and check out. This is something we had looked at over the weekend while we were looking at some. We're setting up our charts for the weekend. Taking its time here. You can pause the video until it comes up. All right, so we're back in action here, And I went to options expiration for the SPX. That's the main index it's a cash index for the S&P 500. And I went to the AM expiration on the 16th. So we have options expiration next week. And what's really important is some of these open interest, might be in a different slot for your broker that you're using here. But here on TD Ameritrade, we have the options interest here. And you see at the 3,500, we have 65,000. It's notable. We get here at 3,600, notable. They're big round numbers. That's how it goes. But right here at 3,700 is 92,000 options open interest at this point. And, it still might climb here on the put side. Okay. And if you keep going all the way until you get to 4,000, you have these massive open interests here on the 4,000 area, which we broke below. So there's really nothing in between. Now you notice that there's some, again, notable at 3,900, there's 65,000. You have 54,000 at that big round number of 3,800. That's just typical, but you don't have anything really of interest until 3,700. So what does that say? Why is it 3,700? Well, let's go to ES and let's go to our Elliott wave chart here. And I'll show you exactly what we're seeing. Okay, so if we have this correction, an ABC correction that's ended, and this impulsive wave 1 down, we're looking at, and this is usually, we post these every morning on Patreon, on my Patreon page. If this impulsive wave moved down, and we have a 62% retracement to kind of around this area here to 4,000, then our next target for the 62% extension and also the 3,700 open interest area as well just happens to coincide with the 62% retracement. I know I have a lot of percentages coming out here from the bottom of this tracement. If you consider this a 5-wave move up as an impulsive wave, then this 62% retracement is for the bulls. And that's my alternative move, would be that's the spot. This 3,700 area is going to be the spot for the bulls and the bears to fight it out. That's where you're going to know if you want to be bullish and try for that move to the upside, or if you bounce and just head right back down, that's the bear scenario. And it's such a big point, but that's where the open interest is, and that's why it's so important to look at that. But overall, no matter what, I still see this thing moving down impulsively. So even if you consider this a full wave 1, that's an impulsive move up for a bullish move, and this is the bottom. If you're a bull, this is the bottom. This impulsive wave move up, you have a 3-wave move down. So this would be the first wave as an A in that situation, a B in that situation, and a C, which would be impulsive. So it would look the same no matter what. So no matter what, we're looking for an ABC or 1, 2, 3 down to the 62% retracement down to the 3,700 area. This is going to be important for whether you're a bull or a bear getting down there. So you should be trading that way in any instance. So that's where we're facing. We are playing this bounce. I did play a lotto overnight to get to this area up here. Quite small of a trade, but still matters. But that's it. If you want these Elliott wave projections, I suppose, then you should join my Patreon. If you want to chit chat, I'm not going to be on there too much on the options, guys. Go in the description, and I'm actually I'm going to be back full time next week I closed on the house and all this good stuff that my friend and we actually remodeled down to the studs of this house, and it was quite the learning experience and the adventure for me. So we had a good time. We sold it. We closed yesterday. We're good, and we're back to trading full time. Okay, so that's all I got for you. Thanks for joining us here at Options Center. We will see you soon. Bye bye.